everyone, before we start today's movie review, I thought I might take this opportunity to talk about the actors' strike that's happening in America at the moment. Well, I have full support for the actors and the writers, and I know what they must be going through at the moment, because I do believe and I wish that the industry does not have too much to do with the new technology here and there. I mean, while I like the industry growing and stuff like that, I don't like it when people like in the studios and the producers would often like to prefer to change it by removing the actors or writers in particular, when actually I believe in the people who help make a project or a film project come to life by their strong efforts. I believe in the set designers, I believe in the people who design the props, the costuming, and all sorts of things. I believe in the creative person that works hard on a project, and I think that we should show their support by making sure that these things don't disappear. And I think as a filmmaker myself, I want to make sure that none of these things, these special things that make a film, disappear. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys tonight, and I hope you guys follow my example by supporting the actors' strike and the writers' strike, and try to support those people, individuals, when they finally make a decision, and that soon we'll probably have the industry the way we want it. Okay, now let's begin our movie review. Okay guys, today we're going to be reviewing a really good TV series that's called The Bridgertons, a TV series that takes place in the Regency era, and well, it's written by Julia Quinn, a famous writer whom I've really read most of her books. Right here on my table here, I have several of her books. I have Everything and the Moon, and one of the Bridgerton's books is called An Offer from a Gentleman. This one's a good one because it deals with Benedict Bridgerton, who falls in love with a beautiful unknown woman, and it's sort of like a Cinderella story, which I kind of love. And this other one that's been on my shelf for quite a while, and I still read it all the time. So I really enjoy Julia Quinn's works, and I'm really happy that she's gone ahead and actually took the time out to get this into a TV series, so I'm really happy for her. So let's begin the story, shall we guys? I've already written their names down so I can remember the details of the story. So the story begins where Daphne Bridgerton is going to be debuting with a number of other debutantes from the Regency era who are going to present themselves to the Queen Charlotte, who is who's actually there, who looks at each of the girls and when they come out, I guess. And so the coming out comes out, and among them is Daphne, who's a beautiful girl, and the Queen looks upon her and says, "You're flawless, darling," stuff like that. And then later on we find out behind the scenes, Lady Whistledown, that's her name, a woman who writes a gossip column or book, or a newsletter about the people in society, and she writes some delicious little items in that column, including stuff about the Bridgertons and the Featheringtons. The Featheringtons are sort of a neighbour to the Bridgertons, with that consists of Lady Featherington, Lord Featherington, and its three other daughters named Prudence Featherington, Penelope Featherington, and I can't really pronounce her name, but it's sorry guys. And they also have a guest that they invited called Mrs. Thompson, who is there to part of the scene. So that's consisted of their family. So I'll tell you guys a bit more about the Bridgertons, considering that's they're the main part of the story, and it will be in the whole season to cover. So they consist of the Viscount Anthony Bridgerton, who's the head of the family. He's the head brother because his dad died because he died of a bee sting. So that makes Anthony Bridgerton the head of the family, and that consists of his brother Benedict Bridgerton, as I told you guys about, Colin, his their sister Daphne, Louisa, and let me see, Francesca, who and Gregory, I think his name is, and Hyacinth. That's all the family. So it's interesting that all through the series we actually focus on them throughout the series. The other person that focuses on in season 1 is this new Duke called Duke Simon Hastings, or Duke of Hastings, I should say. And he's a really interesting character. In this, he's kind of does not want to get married because he's worried about history repeating himself, because his father, his late father I should say, who died a while back, his dad mistreated him, so it kind of brings out a bad side to his whole opinion about marriage, and he thinks if he got married he would probably be just as bad to his children and stuff like that. So he has a fear that he would turn out just like his father, which is even sad. So anyway, the story starts off as Daphne starts attending balls. Her brother accompanies her and her mother, and he then eventually he starts sort of jeopardizes her chances of actually getting involved in any of the other guys' lives, and he kind of says some nasty things and causes her to jeopardize any chances of actually getting anyone to notice her. Anyway, so soon enough she makes the acquaintance of Simon, who was a friend of Anthony in school, I guess, and there Simon comes up with a plan to make sure that she does get married in her first season, where he suggests that he will accompany her to balls, parties, and whatnot, and and then other men will start taking interest in Daphne. So this is a good ruse, and this is only another benefit for him, so that none of the other ladies will go ahead and try to force them to keep approaching him and asking him, would you like to be going out with me, yada yada yada, stuff like that. Of course this works after a while, and soon enough, as they get closer and closer and start becoming more closer friends, Daphne starts learning a little bit more about Simon, and Simon gets a glimmer of Daphne's family life, how he sees that they live a different quite existence compared to the shallow and dark lifestyle he experienced as a child. So he and Daphne, they spend more and more time together, but then he then soon puts a stop to this, because he realizes that the more he spends time with her, the more likely he will probably propose to her and get married to her. So he puts a stop to it and at the same time, Queen Charlotte's nephew, I think it is has an eye on Daphne and might pop the question. And when Simon is done courting or pretend courting Daphne, the prince steps in and starts making advances, and at one point he even offers her this beautiful necklace. It's beautiful, and he also proposes to her, but she has an answer for him. So she heads to the garden, and she and Simon they make out, and then her brother finds them, and Anthony tries to force Simon to marry her. Of course he says no, and so this forces Anthony's hand by dueling with him and with Simon. Of course, Daphne finds out that from later on that someone saw her and Simon making out, and this would ruin her if by any chance. So she approaches her brother and Simon and told them the big bad news, which forces Simon to fall under the hammer and agree to marrying Daphne. And soon enough, the Queen kind of comes in between them to get married because she's annoyed that her nephew was rejected. So she asked them to approach her to confirm that they're in love and stuff like that. Eventually they do confirm this, and the marriage continues, or the wedding gets done. And soon enough, they get married, and there are a few bad and disengaging moments during their marital thing. I think Simon still struggles with the thought of possibly fatherhood and stuff like that, even though he has not thought, he still doesn't want to father children, obviously. And Daphne assumes at first that maybe it's a bit of the fact he can't have children. Anyway, but then she learns that it goes deeper than that, and she finds a little bit more secrets behind his life and his childhood. And then finally she was able to, get him to see that she still loves him and they'll make good parents and stuff like that. Soon enough, Anthony is about to try to get, he is also engaged with a famous singer at the same time, and of course when they were going for the duel, he thought that if he gets ruined, he would be able to offer her a life and stuff like that. Of course this doesn't come about, and soon enough she goes in pursuit of some other man, and Anthony is now free to go and pursue and find his Viscountess, obviously. And that's when season 1 ends, obviously, and then we find out that Daphne and Simon have their first child. Now, what do I think about this season, the first season? Well, I like it very much, guys. I'm a big Jane Austen, Jane Eyre fan, and I kind of really loved how the story rolled, and I like the actresses that worked in the series. I really loved the handsome men, especially because of how they look so gorgeous with those dark hair, curly hair. It's so great. It makes you want to run your hands through them and stuff like that. It makes it in a nice romantic gesture kind of way, not a creepy way. Ugh. But it's a great series all around, and I don't have a big problem with it. So I'm going to give this series 5 out of 5. I really love it so much, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. I will probably review the sequel, season 2, when I have a chance, and I might see about reviewing Queen Charlotte, Bridgerton story, later on too. I haven't made any plans as of yet. So that's my thoughts about the first season. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys may check it out and let me know in the comments what you guys think too. So that's about it from us, guys. So be sure to check it out and let me know in the comments what you guys think as usual. So see you guys next time on FanGirl Review. Bye for now.